Hey everybody, this is Robin from Roaming with Rover, and this is the second in the series of the Lizzy Blanket that we are doing as a crochet and read along for Pride and Prejudice. This is our Pride and Prejudice. Okay, so this is the blanket portion of our Pride and Prejudice crochet along. The read along portion is done separately, and you'll have a reading every week, but this is the blanket portion. So last week, as you recall, we did the introduction. We showed off the gorgeous, beautiful yarn pack that we got. Okay, and of course you did not have to buy the yarn pack. I chose to for this, and I ordered this from the Ophelia Makes website. And again, all that information is in last week's video. There'll be a link to that somewhere up here, somewhere at the end of this video or down below. There will also be a link to the entire series of the Lizzy Blanket from Ophelia Makes. You are going to want to watch her video. They're very easy. Her instructions are very, very easy, very easy. However, they're done English style. Now, when you get her pattern, it is done in American terms, but still, English style is still just a little bit different than if you're used to crocheting American terminology, there's some nuances that are different that I found as I was going through this. It just made a little bit more sense to me if I watched her video, and her instructions are extremely clear in the videos. If I watched the video as I was reading along in the instruction, and the instructions are 1 or 2 sentences, it's not complex at all, made a lot more sense to me. Just made a lot more sense to me if I did it that way. And once or twice, if I started off just with the instructions, I'm like, and then watched the video, oh, okay, that's what she meant. So from then on, I watched the video as I read the instructions. You know, I'm talking 2 or 3 minutes, okay? This wasn't a 20 or 30 minute process. So 2 or 3 minutes, watch the video for that row as I read the instructions. And sometimes it was a little hint or tip. Sometimes it was just a difference in how things are said. It will save you time in the long run. Trust me. Okay? So, watch the video as you read the instruction the first time through. So today, what we did, so last week we got the intro stuff, and I started out. All right? So, Lizzy Blanket, you're gonna need your pattern, you're gonna need your hook, and she suggested using the 4 hook or the 3.5. Because I bought the kit, and because she said she used a 3.5, I used the 3.5 because I'm always worried about running out of yarn when I buy a kit. Okay, I weighed my yarn just once, and I found I'm using about 3 grams of yarn per row. Okay, a couple of stitch markers, some scissors, and you're good to go. Okay. I read through the stitches, nothing too tricky. And then I had my color list, but everything's right here, so that's nothing too hard to worry about. Week 1 is the Jane stitch. Here's my week 1. There are 2 specialty stitches in this one. One I already knew, one I had to look at the instructions, and it was not hard at all. Nothing in here is hard at all, and she walks you through step by step every single one that you need to do. Okay, here's the other cool thing about it. Here's your instructions. The actual pattern is right there, and as you can see, that's the whole pattern for this section. Really easy. You're going to do multiples. So the way the pattern works is, for the section called Jane, there are 5 rows. We're going to repeat those 5 rows 6 times. So we're going to end up with 30 rows for the section called Jane. When you watch her video, she calls that week 1. We're splitting it out into 2 weeks because I don't want you to be so stressed that you've got to get this done. To me, 30 rows in 1 week is a lot. I have multiple projects. I have life, I have all kinds of things getting in the way. So we spread this out more than what she did. As we said in the beginning, we have spread this out into 16 weeks. We've added time into every week. If you get her done in 1 week, no problem. Just pop in here, take a look at how mine is, and move on. You've got time to spare. We also each week have the reading of Pride and Prejudice. So if that's all you're going to do is sit and listen to the book, great, no problem. Okay? But if you're following along and you're like, 30 rows in 1 week? No. She will say that in her video. That is not how we're doing it in this crochet along. You will have extra time, okay? So it boils down to about 15 rows per week, and that's quite doable. It's quite doable because some of your rows are just double crochet all the way across or half double crochet all the way across. No big deal. You can do it. You can do it. I have faith in you. Okay? So you're cutting your yarn at the end of every row. And I found in the instructions it doesn't actually say that. It's implied. But when I got to the first one and it didn't say that, I'm like, wait, I thought we were doing that. So little things like that, watching the video, seeing her do it, okay, yes, that's what we're doing. You know, I try to follow the instructions. So when it didn't actually say that, it kind of threw me a little bit. So that's why I liked following the instructions along with watching the video. Okay, so there's a few little bitty things like that that are implied that it doesn't specifically say that she does in the video. Okay, so just little things like that. Now, even though we're repeating the pattern, you're not repeating the color. If you're following along with her, if you're using her kit, following her colors. If you're using your own colors, if you're using one color, which you can absolutely do, if you've pulled your own colors from the shelf, which you can absolutely do. I've talked to a couple people that are using 4 colors and they're just going to rotate the colors. Great. Don't worry about the colors. If you're using hers, the next page in the instructions, she has this written out row by row, what color you're using and what stitch you're using. So it's going to be real easy to keep your place. Because it's a repeat, so the rows are marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went through here and marked my number 1 row each time just to help me keep my place and just kind of so I knew where I was at. Just little things like that help me keep from losing track. I also, before I realized that she had marked in here which stitch we were using, I just jotted down over here row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and what the stitch was. Just helps me keep from being lost. Also, down here, she's got marked what the stitches are. So, for instance, one of them is a bean stitch, which I'm not real familiar with that. And then she's got written out what the bean stitch is. Really good instructions. I'm telling you, great instructions in the thing. So, let me show you what colors. So there's 15 colors in this palette. 15 colors in the kit. Let me show you what colors we did not use all of them in what would have been my first week. And there were a few more colors. We would have used a lot of them if we'd have gone the full, what she considered a first week. We would have used a lot of them. But these are the colors that we used in my first week, okay? We used the gold, so pretty. We used mocha and teal. Isn't that gorgeous? Dark brown, walnut, storm blue. This is beautiful, super pretty in person. Duck egg and cream, just a basic cream color. So let's see, I don't know if I am coordinated enough to pick these all up. Let's see if we can do this. The one on the bottom wants to fall out. So these are the colors that we used. Yes, yes, yes. Set these right over here without dropping them all. I think we did a pretty good job there. Nice. And this is how it looks. So the gold was the first one. This is how it looks. So this, here we go. This is 15 rows. Okay, so this is half of the first set. This is half of Jane. So we're going to do 30 rows of Jane. Okay. And this is also a good way for you to decide, do you want to cut out a few rows? There we go. Do you want to cut out a few rows? I think it looks really pretty. I was surprised because I'm not a fan of gold, but I think it looked great. I think it looked great together with these other colors. Yeah. This gives you an idea if you want to cut out some rows. Maybe you don't want to do 6 repeats. Maybe you only want to do 5 repeats. So I measured it up for you and I wrote it down. So right now, with the 3 repeats, so this is half, it's 5 inches this way, 5 inches this way. So it's going to be twice this, it's going to be 10 inches. And it is 44 inches wide. And then we're going to add a couple of more inches on either side for the edging, when we get the edging to the edging part, okay? Now remember, I could not find anywhere where it told us what the size this was going to end up being. So we're looking at about 10 inches per section, and we ended up with 5 sections because the 6th one, is that correct? Let me just count real quick. There's 2, there's 3, there's 5. Yeah, so there's 5 sections, so 10, so that's 50 inches plus the border. So that gives you a rough idea how big this thing is going to be, you know, give or take. And that's with me using the smaller of the hooks. So if you use the bigger hook, it's probably going to end up being a little bit bigger. So about 50 inches by about, where did I say, 44 inches, with a border, a couple more inches on each side, so 48 by 50. It's a nice size blanket right there. So that way, that gives you a rough idea. So if you only, you know, if you want to drop and maybe do 5 repeats instead of 6 repeats, or, you know, whatever, that gives you a rough idea of what we're looking at size-wise on this thing, okay? But there we are. This is the first half of what they're calling week 1, which is Jane, the first half. So next week I will be back with the end of Jane, the first, what they're calling week 1, which would be the end of our week 2, okay? So thank you so very much. I cannot wait to see your guys' progress. Please don't forget to, I'll put the email address down below, and make sure you send me some pictures of how yours is coming. I can't wait to see how yours is coming along and see the different colors that you've chosen. Very, very excited. And I hope you enjoy the reading of the book. We'll talk to you guys later. Please like, and if you're having a good time, if you're enjoying our channel, I hope you'll subscribe. Thank you so very much. Bye-bye.